wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you not a man.
That's it.
Chandler Seitz is probably the best dancer on this team.
Well, we got the Texas State Bobcats here for the theme of episode 87, and I'm really disappointed. I didn't see our VIP jump in there and show how they dance down in San Marcos. Haleigh Blocker, Director of Football Operations for the Texas State University. Where were you in that video? Where were you?
That's their moment that I really like to let them shine, because if I would have gotten behind there, I would have just took away all the fame. So I let them have their moment for a few minutes. So I was hiding in the background a little bit.
Well, here's the story. And I know you and I personally met 2 years ago, and then Harge, and then Coach Mo has yet to meet you. But the story here with you, Director of Football Operations. And that's a pretty big deal. You're pretty much the right-hand man or woman to Jake Spavital, the head coach of Texas State University. And Big Mike joins us. Sure. The whole family's here.
Hey, sorry, baby boy was trying to wake up. I said, you can go back to sleep. We got to do this podcast. Hey, guys. Hey, Mo. What's up, baby boy?
What's good? You
got a mustache. What a mess.
Wait. Hey, Haleigh, that's the beauty of this podcast is you never know what's going to happen. It just happens.
Love it.
Cool Adidas shirt you're rocking, too. This is so much fun.
I know. Get my last name hat on real quick.
I thought it would be there.
There it is.
So before we get on with the fun interview with Haleigh Blocker, Director of Football Operations at Texas State University, a big shout out to our sponsors, SaxtonInsurance.com and Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden. Haleigh, first and foremost, talk about, before we go into your title, just talk about the daily life of working with a Division I football program and how much fun it is to deal with people like us.
I mean, y'all are what makes it fun, honestly. But no, I love it. I think the biggest thing for me is it's something different every day, right? And you face a new challenge every day. So you wake up and you're like, what's today going to bring? And it's all about just taking one day at a time, but it's so much fun. This group of people we have, y'all know them. It's a blast for them to work. Like, I love what I do. I tell people this all the time. I love what I do, but I love who I work for more and the people that we're surrounded with. So super thankful to be here, especially in San Marcos where I went to school. So it's a blessing to get to go to school here and then continue a career here. So I enjoy it.
So I wanted to ask you this and take us a little bit behind the scenes. Obviously, Sean alluded to it. You are the right-hand person for the head coach, but you also wear a lot of different hats for a lot of different people within that. I know the hat that you wear normally is last stand hats, but during the time while you're out there, you have to deal with so many other people and try to accommodate and say no to this, but yes to this. What is a day in the life of Haleigh?
Oh man, that's a lot. Day in the life is really all behind the scenes things, right? So when you talk about travel, I would say that's my biggest thing, and that goes year round. So right now I'm just working with all of the hotels, right? Making sure everything is set for when our team comes. Team travel, right? Then you have your charter flights. So making sure that's all squared away. You got your police escorts that you deal with every week. You have your buses, right? You have nutrition, which we don't have a nutritionist here. So that's me. That works with our strength staff. So, and we feed our guys 3 times a day. So that's a daily task, right? Of making sure they're getting fed and what they need to. But then again, just kind of being that admin role up here, right? And being kind of the face of Coach Spav half the time and being able to talk to people and talking with donors. So it's always changing, dealing with media. Like I said, Coach Spavital's schedule. I joke all the time that I know his life and schedule better than my own. Because you have to know what's going on at all times. But I enjoy it. And again, surround yourself with good people, right? And so I wouldn't want to be doing anything different.
All right, so is it Texas State or is it Southwest Texas? That's what I want to know.
Depends on who you ask, honestly. You gotta be careful with that one. For me, it's Texas State. For my mom, it's Southwest Texas. So it all just depends. It all just depends. I'm a fan of both.
I have a serious question though. So being in that role, most would consider it a guy's, gentleman, men's role. How does it feel being that strong alpha female in that telling those boys what to do?
It's awesome. And I grew up for me, I grew up a guy's gal, right? So I've never really felt like I was out of place or whatever. And for me, it's just, I've always took the approach of just do what you love, right? And if you love it and you work hard where you're at, things are going to open up for you and people will see your value to any program. But I never seen myself different, but for me right now, it's so fun to talk to younger women now that I'm in this role, right? And they're always like, how do you do that? How do you do this? And I'm like, just go for it head first, right? Don't second guess yourself just because it's a man's world, right? You have to know you're entering a male dominated world. It's going to be a little different probably than what you're used to. But I think women bring a lot of value to a program and different ways of thinking and things like that. But again, I never feel like I'm the woman in the room either, right? So I feel like I'm one of the coaches. The players are so respectful. The coaches are respectful. So I always just feel like I'm one of them.
For those of you that don't know, a guy's girl is also considered a tomboy in the city. She's from a small town, so a guy's doll is a tomboy. So you probably throw a football. Probably throw a football farther than 90% of you. So don't be trying to act all hard right now.
Don't be getting it twisted.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Benches 250, squats 400, gets up and runs at 4:30 in the morning.
Right. I don't squat that much. We're getting there though. I'm doing a body weight workout. So we're at about 10. We're about 10 right now.
Low flex with 10 pounds. That is a 5-on-5 on each side. The's no bar. It's just she's just squatting with the little tents.
Hilarious.
Yes, exactly.
So you had your women's clinic this past weekend, right? So talk about what that entails and what it takes to put on an event like that when you're trying to get so many women to come down, you're having to get on the field and all that other jazz.
Yeah, women's clinic. It's just so fun because you don't realize how much people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, right? And so getting them here and we started with just getting to take pictures with the players and doing all that. And they thought that was the coolest thing, right? And then we go into different meeting rooms where we would have the equipment presentation so they get to see kind of what our players wear. And then there's competitions of who can get the jersey on the quickest. We send them into the weight room and so they get to talk about nutrition with our strength staff. And then also had them doing some ladder drills, which was pretty fun to watch. We had some footwork queens going on.
Do you participate in those to show them up, or do you just show up?
I think I let them have their moment, just
to show up at the end. I did see in your picture that you partnered with someone and did the state of Texas, and she did the widespread teamwork of, isn't it this? It's backwards right now, but
left
right
hand.
State of Texas. It is left hand.
Yep.
It is.
State of Texas.
I'm reversed. State of Texas. It points to San Marcos, which Sean would know because they go halfway over and then it points to Nacogdoches, which is
and that's
Houston at
right there.
Where Houston at on that? I don't see Houston on that.
Isn't this what
Where's Colleen? Where's Colleen at?
Where's
the K? Can we get the K?
Do you guys know how that do you know how that happened? Do you know how they got their hand signal? I just found this out. Apparently, Texas was playing Houston and they shut the door on their whatever their mascot was and took off a finger. So UT fans were making fun of them the entire time. That's how they got their true story, Haleigh. True story.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's deep.
That's deep.
That was very deep. Yeah, that was.
Knowledge bombs. Knowledge bombs on a Friday.
We're dropping knowledge bombs.
Knowledge bombs.
Knowledge.
Hey, Haleigh, let's go a little deeper in this, because I think all of us on our journey, career path, whatnot, who inspires us to become who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Tory Teykl was with Tom Herman at Houston, and she took a similar path, and then she came to Texas. Now I think she's at KU.
Yep.
She is.
Thanks, Harge. And because I can't remember, because KU changes quite a bit. I met her dad, and that's the only way I got to know her. But Tory Teykl's role, what about her caught your attention? You're like, I want to go down the same path that she has.
So when I was interning here, I heard her name multiple times being at Texas. And so I started to follow her. And to me, honestly, she was my idol. Like I watched her. I would go to some conferences and stuff, and she would get up and speak about it. And I'm like, wow, that was kind of like she can do it, I can do it, and it was just really motivating for me. And I tried to like introduce myself a couple times. I was like the little fangirl, right? Like I was just in awe of her. And then I remember when I took the job here, Zach and Jake both know her. And so they got me in touch with her. And again, I'll forever be thankful for her because she didn't even know me really, right? She got me on the phone. We sat there for an hour because I got hired on like 2 months before we started the season. And she just was like, this is what you need to do. Do this, 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 this. Like, here's some templates to get you going. And when I look back at it now, I'm like, that was a crazy time for her. And she sat there and helped me, and she did not have to do that. So she'll always be an idol to me. We're super close now. It's crazy kind of how times go. I can call her any time of the day. She calls me any time of the day, but really inspiring for me, honestly. She was kind of that first woman that I was like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. So I'll forever be close with her and just thank her for everything.
When you say that, everybody's gone through those phases of, I want to be like that person, or I know this person, and I want to be doing this. The conversation initially, you said that when you started it, you were like, yes, I want to do this. If she can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. But did you have this in your mind prior to all of this? I know you did your internship. I know you came to school to get into this business, but where did your love and passion come from to where you wanted to be part of this?
So, take it back all the way from being from a small town, right? Fall City. So football is everything there. I was actually a cheerleader, but I played sports all my life. So I did basketball and track. So I grew up playing sports. I knew I wanted to work in sports. Ideally football, just because football is life for us down there.
Yeah. Friday Night Lights.
Yes, exactly. And so exactly. Still is. And then whenever I got here, I just sent a few emails to do whatever I could up here. And I literally remember I answered the phone for the first year. Literally, that was my job, is just answer the phone. And I took so much pride in that. And I thought that was the biggest deal. And I had notebooks of like, if this person calls, this is what I say. If this person calls, this is what I say, and then kind of got into my second year and started helping with recruiting, which I enjoyed, and kind of thought maybe that was the route I wanted to go. And then I started helping more with the operations side and realized, okay, this is what I want to do. And I didn't think my role would come this quick, obviously. That was kind of my end goal at the time. I had gone to the NFL Women's Forum that February, and I remember listening to all of them and just kind of like, okay, we had to stand up and tell them what our end goal was, and it was director of operations. And then a few months later, Coach Spav ended up hiring me on as assistant to head coach. So I was handling all of his schedules and everything pertaining to him. And then a few months after that, he had called me and asked me about the operations role. And I was like, are you sure? Like, you sure you want to do that? And again, he like believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. And I just went for it head first. But that's kind of how it all transitioned. It happened quick. I went for it head first that first year, but I'm glad I did.
Good for you. I need to tell my daughters about you so they can start following you.
I mean, yeah, I was just about to say, I know he ain't joking. I mean, it sounds like it.
No joke.
Just like you, when you were talking about how you felt about Tory, somebody has to be the leader, and someone has to be that inspiration for others.
Absolutely.
So that is, hey Mo, do it. I'm down with that,
exactly.
brother.
Hey man, I have 2 girls, so I'm all about empowering young women and putting women in leadership roles. I'm tired of seeing dudes fuck up shit. That's what I'm really tired of seeing. I want to see some women out here.
Keep them in line.
Because I ask my wife all the time, honey, what you think about this? What you think about that? How does look on me? What you think? How does taste? Hey, I need that confirmation too. So it's always something good about a strong, positive woman reinforcing what needs to be done. And I'm all for it. Do it. Do your thing, girl.
Help anybody out.
100%.
I love seeing it as well.
Okay, the real question: if you were on Friday Night Lights TV show, which girl character would you have been?
I can't answer. That's too tough of a question.
Would you be the girl, the cheerleader that left the paralyzed player for the star fullback?
Oh, man.
Or would you be the crazy partier that like everybody's like, oh man, she's like the hottest thing. I want to be with her. Then they're like, they don't know that she's like actually just looking for a friend.
Probably. I mean, if we're being honest, probably that one.
Are you more the mixture? You're like, well, I was like the cheerleader, but I also was the partier.
Yeah,
There you go, Haleigh. All your secrets just coming out. What in all seriousness, what is like the next step for you? Right, career path. Is it athletic director? Is it fuck it, I want to be head coach? I mean, just take over one day. I mean, you never know. They've got female coaches now. You guys have a female linebacker coach. Yeah, I met her the other day when we were down there. So. Yeah, she's awesome.
I've thought about it. This, like I said, this role came so quick, so I really haven't decided exactly what that next step would be. For me, if an NFL opportunity came up, I would probably take it, or a bigger school, just whether that be front office operations, kind of that realm. I want to stick to football because I thought about like the athletic director route, but I love football, right? And I want to be around that. So definitely stick to football.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe some front office stuff or just a bigger role.
Executive vice president or, VP of operations, something like that. Yeah, I can see it.
Right now I'm just like work hard where I'm at, and kind of like I said earlier, just every single day get 1% better, like Coach Spav says, and then the right doors will open.
Well, you've already got the coach speak, so that's great.
I can cut that down.
Let's just get 1% better every day.
The cliches are down.
But no, I mean, we'll see. I'm just one day. I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at right now, and so just kind of see where that path takes me.
Living in the moment, taking it day by day. Well done.
So, Haleigh, I got to ask you, you obviously have a little bit more sense of pride in Texas State because you are a graduate and alumni. Yeah. They're still fairly new to the scene to FBS. If you look at the number of years they've been FBS since they made the transition. What I think, and I'm not just being biased because we had them on here and we're friends with them, but Coach Spavital, don't you think that you see this every day? Yep. Do you see the steps in taking that? Okay, they're a bowl eligible type of program. You guys are, and can they be a group of 5 national player possibly?
Right. Just seeing how close we. Yeah, I mean, yes. Like I can see it from. Obviously, I interned here before Coach Spav even got here, and so kind of watching that transition. And seeing the type of guys that Coach Spavital brings in, and just the culture, how it's changed, is huge, right? And it's just the whole morale of the whole team. And like since Coach Spav's gotten here, like the guys want to be here and they want to be out there, and he has to tell them to go home, right? It's not just, hey, let's go get football practice done and leave. Like they love football. Like they love football, and they love Texas State, and we teach them about Texas State, and they know what they're playing for, and they know what they're playing for on their jersey, and so. And we bring ex-players in, like they know who they're playing for and who built this. And so to me, it's just what Coach Spav has brought in, the culture. And I think the players relate to him so well. He relates to the players. Like y'all know, he's very personable with them. And so they just I think they're just very comfortable with him, and they want to play hard for him, which in the whole staff, which is huge.
And one of the things that I've noticed too, Haleigh, and I'm glad you brought that up about the alumni and bringing other players in to come and talk to them. It's the after football part of it too. So the people that you've been bringing in are former players that are national champions, but they're also business owners, and they're talking about what they learned at Texas State and been able to advance. Back then, most of these people went to Southwest Texas, but the people that you bring in, they get an opportunity to talk about that. So talk a little bit about the mentorship that some of these guys have brought to you, especially those alumni that are always at every game.
Yeah, and I think that's a big change too, is like we've had guys come in that haven't been around in a long time, and so it's cool to have them come in and just talk about their experiences and sometimes get them in front of the team, right? And then we have players that may be interested in a career path that they're doing, right? And so then we link them up And then there's that connection there. So it's just Bobcats helping out Bobcats, which I think is huge. And really just too, like seeing them come to practice, like the guys see that, you know, and they see the pride that they still have, even being however many years out. And I think that it's just that motivation for our guys that they want to bring their kids one day, right, and be proud of where they played at.
And the last thing too, I wanted to ask you with the name, image, and likeness stuff that's going on. Obviously, at the bigger level, there's been a lot of stories that have happened. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you got a partnership now with Last Stand hats. People are reaching out and trying to find out their best niche. So it goes back to what you were talking about, some of that alumni base being able to have some of their players market their stuff. So how are y'all handling that and some of the good, the pros and the cons of it all?
Yeah, tell me the cons.
Do it.
Tell us the cons.
I mean, I think the cons is just like we have to make sure we're educating them, right? Like tax, you're going to get taxed on some of this stuff. Like there's a lot that goes in, like know what you're signing for, you know, like are you signing away like yourself for a t-shirt? Are you like actually going to benefit from it? And I think we do a really good job here of having those educational sessions, but I just think some people are just like, here, take, you know, like this sounds good. And they're signing away. And it's just like, you're getting into these contracts that you don't really even know what you're signing for. So I would say that would probably be the biggest thing is just like making sure you're educating them constantly on it. But I think the pros obviously outweigh the cons a lot more. This is needed to happen for a while. And I think it's cool to see some of our guys benefit from things that they should have probably for a long time now, you know?
That's awesome.
To piggyback on that, because I wish this was around when I was playing, but will you guys come up with some kind of program for these athletes to say, hey, all right, we know you guys are making a lot of money now, but let's take some of this money and set it to the side and let's start some kind of investment opportunity for these young men. Because let's face it, a lot of these young men are coming from, you know, poverty. They don't have the resources like most people do growing up. So will there be some kind of program to help install, you know, some type of investment opportunity for these kids looking long-term down the road as opposed to looking at right now?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's all the conversations we're having right now with something we can do to further that, right, and really educate them on that aspect of it. And I think too, we look at who they're benefiting from, right? And it's just like, and I know Mike in Last Stand does it. I know he's really good about like educating them and how can you promote yourself, but also be really smart about it. So I think it's too just making sure they're knowing who they're working with, right? Because it is a business and making sure that the person you're working with has your best interests as well. So again, it's just, I think there needs to be something. Yes, there's a lot of talk about that, but just using it wisely, keeping your money to the side, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing that whether they sign with us or not, we try to make sure they know that whoever's paying you, make sure you put away 30% because the IRS does not care if you're a college athlete. They will come after you. And you definitely don't want some of these athletes. And I'm sure it's going to happen that, you know, oh, we're going to go to the league and I'll just pay off my taxes when I sign my first contract or whatever that is. And then there's late fees and then you're on radars and all that other stuff. So you definitely want to make sure that's taken care of. So
and I know there's some guys too, like that have been reached out to, and I think they want to be smart about it and they know that it could really help them, right? So some of them are just taking that approach of like, let's get through the season first and then get through the season, focus on football, and then I'm going to focus on that aspect because it's a job.
Because that's one thing, right? So when it definitely is. It can be a job. It depends on what they're asking for and what they're not, right? Versus, you know, hey, like for us, it's focus on your sport. Like you reach out to us if you have downtime, but this never affects your school, number one, and it doesn't affect your play. And you definitely don't think I need to make a play so I can sell a shirt. Now, obviously, like, and there's crazy rules too. So there's like, you know, athletes, you know, even though Last Stand Hats is licensed by a bunch of schools, we're not allowed to go and talk to administrations or, you know, people of faculty and say, hey, you know, can you connect us with so-and-so? And so everything is, you just, you know, the businesses have to reach out or the players can reach out and it's got to, you know, NIL, you've got to make sure you have a right contract. So have you guys, you know, with the bumps on the NIL, I know that's 3 in a row, but What do you think the progression is? Do you think that eventually the universities are going to say, you know what, go ahead and use everything, like just take the logo, we don't care, just give us royalties? Or do you think it's more going to be down the line of we're going to wait and see and all that? Just because it's not just football players, right? You've got golf people and all that cheerleaders, for example, could even get it. I mean, if you were cheerleading at Texas State, Haleigh, you could technically be an NIL athlete. So, two, would you have been an NIL athlete? Let's be honest. Would you have been like, yeah, pay me?
Yeah. Yeah. Do they have like an
Hell
operation?
yes, you would have.
NIL?
Hell yeah.
Like, make me that cheerleading baseball card. I'll sign those son of a gun.
No, I mean, like, I think I don't ever see like being able to use university logos unless obviously we're getting paid for it, right? I think, but there's going to be that contract there just of like you use Adidas logo or whatever. I think it could just because it could help people both ways, right? We get paid, y'all get to use our logo. That's how I would see it. But again, it's something new every day. So at this point, it's kind of just who knows.
Yeah.
Well, Haleigh, we'll wrap this up with the best part. And first and foremost, I want to tell the viewers watching this or even listening, you will hear Haleigh Blocker's name on the professional level in front offices. So take advantage of it if you're here in Austin to go see the great product that she's putting together at Texas State. And that's where we're going to transition to your man cave story brought to you by Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. We're going to call it a woman cave story today.
A person cave story. We don't buy into that stereotype of gender, whatever it's called. What is it? Gender identification. This is a person cave now.
Oh Lord!
Just welcome to the cave, Haleigh.
Yeah,
welcome to the cave.
Welcome to the cave.
Yeah, you tell a story. You could tell one.
She's one of us.
Anything. Yeah, she's one of the guys. She already made that clear.
She's a guy. She's a guy doll. She's a guy doll.
You could relay a story that's something funny that happened in your life, or even something day to day with Coach Spavital.
Oh. I'm sure y'all have heard this story already because he tells it. But my first year, which this is my opportunity to tell the real story, so I'm really excited about this. So my first year when we played SMU, obviously I'm freaking out, right? This is like my rookie year, like true rookie year. And so I go up on Thursdays. Well, so I was meeting with the SMU staff, and the Secret Service comes up to me and they're like, hey, like President Bush wants to speak to the team. Is that okay?
Whoa.
Like, before the game. And you have to understand, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to mess up our itinerary. You know, like we have a very, very strict schedule. And like, I need to talk to Coach Spav about this. So I'm like, first of all, they're looking at me like I'm crazy anyways, because I'm like not responding because I'm like, oh God, I don't know what to say. And I'm just like, let me talk to Coach Spavital first, is all I said. Right. And they looked at me as if I was like insane, which obviously I was for even saying that. So I remember I called Coach Spavital and I was like, hey, like, so President Bush wants to speak to the team. I just wasn't sure. And he was like, please tell me you did not tell the president no. And I was like, well, not technically no, but I didn't say yes.
I made him wait as he should. What are you talking about? You ain't president no more. You ain't not president no more.
I was like, get back in there and tell them yes, you would love for the president to speak to the team. And I was like, I'm on it. And so I went back in there and I told them, but so the story is that I told the president no, but technically I did not say no. So that's my
hey, I like you even more.
I will not let that one down.
I like you.
Zero shits given.
Yeah, stay in line. That's right.
5 minutes behind. Which
just because you're president, you're not that important because you're a president. We have a schedule to follow.
See, bro. No one cares you have a library. They have them in every city, dude. Like, shut up.
Shut up, man.
Okay. All right, Haleigh. Last question before we let you go.
Okay.
Give us what's going to be the final score of the Texas State Baylor game next Saturday. And a follow-up, tell people why they should come to you guys have a lot of cool stuff going on at the stadium. Tell them why they need to come and cheer on Texas State. Like, what do you guys have going on?
Do that first.
Yeah, do that first.
Why we should be there and
promote
then give us the production. Yeah.
Dyslexic. Sometimes we just ask questions backwards sometimes.
Process this. Well, you should absolutely come because I think the product that's going to be put out there is going to be super fun to watch. We're a lot bigger. We're a lot more fun, physical. So I think just the whole game aspect of it, but we're also doing a lot of, I know our new AD, Don Coryell, is working on a lot of end zone stuff. So the whole end zone is going to be open for fans. So there's going to be a bunch of games down there, drinks, a bar. That hole's going to be open. Tailgating is 100%. So y'all know, y'all haven't been to a Texas State tailgate. That's where it's at. So yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of fun things going on, but I think just the whole y'all watching Texas State play is gonna be super exciting to watch, and something that's needed for a while. And then score. I'm going with us. Texas State's gonna win 48-7.
Oh, Haleigh, delete that, Sean. Just delete.
Why, Mike?
Haleigh,
hey, if she believes that
48-7, I believe you're gonna win.
48-12.
Okay,
I believe that you got a shot.
Meet you in the middle.
The middle is not math, and I know that.
48-12.
I think you guys win probably like 31-27 is what I think.
You
I
asked her what she.
I do.
Yeah, you asked for her.
You asked for it. She gave
trying
it
to
to
influence
you.
her.
Represent.
Haleigh.
Hey, don't slap him.
The
Don't
Bobcat.
slap him.
I don't. Wait, was that a real answer? You really think 48-7? All right, I'm coming to that. So I'll see you down there. It'll be fun.
I may or may not get you a wristband.
I'm gonna make a shirt that says 48-7, Texas State over Baylor 2021, and we'll all wear it. How's that? My wife will not be happy. She's already planning on going to this game. So I was like, I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up.
I'm sure we'll become friends again before then. So we're good.
Exactly.
Haleigh, it has been more than real. We're very proud of you, and we appreciate all the help you give us, and since day one, and all the roles that we've played a part of in the Austin area, and we can't wait to see you game day in the end zone. And
who's gonna be the first? Who's gonna be the first drunk person to run out on the field from that little like?
Oh Lord!
Is that a college kid or an adult that's just like, fuck it, I'm streaking? And he's running through.
College kid probably coming from the tailgate across.
With a last stand hat on.
God, I hope not. Fuck.
Please, I'm gonna just throw him one to at least have it.
Hey guys, don't wear hey guys. Just fucking write a website on your body or something. Shit.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's awesome. Haleigh, great having you on. We appreciate everything that you're doing. Congratulations on your success and continued success for sure.
Can't wait to watch you grow.
Keep killing them. Keep killing them.
Absolutely. You guys if you need anything from any of us, the Man Cave boys are always have your back, and we'll support you.
Man Cave men.
It is just the cave, okay? It
is
just the cave.
The cavemen. We're the cavemen now. Look at us. We got the 1980s caveman up here and wake your ass up. We got the other guy, and then you got the bald old guy, the old caveman, and then you got the other guy with the full beard. This is such a fun time.
Hey, I'm start smoking a cigarette on here too.
He's gonna get them. What Marlboro Lights?
Marlboro Lights 100.
No, you look like a Newport. You look like a Newport.
That's almost that's
racist.
All right, guys. Bye, Haleigh.
Haleigh.
Bye. Thank y'all so much.
See you soon.
Bye, Haleigh.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to try to find out this quarterback situation down on the 40 acres, that being the University of Texas. That's on the other side of this break. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you. God, it is freezing up over here on this laptop here, segment 2. Gentlemen, Haleigh Blocker, you can't get much better than that. And a girl that's probably way ahead of the curve than most people in same position in major college athletics.
Yeah, man, she's awesome. You know, the cool thing about Haleigh is once we got licensed at Last Stand Hats, we, reached out. We ran into them at the Caboose, and then we kind of met up at UT at the baseball game. And ever since then, man, it's like random stuff. And she's the type of person, dude, that'll be like, we'll just like, I'll run into her out in Austin, and she'll be like, yo, what's up? How are you? And then you talk for like 15 minutes. She's like, I got to go. I'm already late. My wife's going to kill me. I was supposed to be home like 30 minutes ago. So, I mean, she's awesome. She's on such a great career path, and, we've got nothing but for support for her. And, we're really happy to root on Texas State this year because, we went down to practice last Friday, and it was fantastic. The boys look good. They're bigger, definitely bigger. And Coach Spavital, by the way, and that entire staff is awesome. Like I brought a buddy of mine who's just joined us, and Vinny, and I mean, every single time they'd walk up, be like, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Very cool.
Yeah, they are very unique staff when it comes to the openness and the friendliness in which they participate with everybody. It's so cool the way that they act, and like you said, with Haleigh being in charge, and then Coach Spavital and his staff, and you want to be a part of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Even if you're not a fan, you want to be a part of what they have going on, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
100%. Now, gentlemen, I know we have spoken a lot because, and I know there's much more to the Texas Longhorns than the quarterback situation, but I think Sark is playing his cards close to the vest, and he's not going to reveal it. But he was asked about it after Saturday. Oh, I see you. So this is Sark after that scrimmage Saturday, and basically saying both the two of them they have improved since scrimmage 1, and he's not ready. He uses a little snarky response right here, but I kind of like it. Listen to this.
No, I have not named one, so I guess there's nothing to share. Well, quite frankly, the reps have been split 50-50, and half of them with the ones, half with the twos, and I think probably they've continued to build. I know that first scrimmage didn't go the way they wanted it to go, and probably I wanted it to go for them. But like I just touched on for the defense, I think it was a really good kind of wake-up call for them.
Okay, guys, your thoughts moving forward. I'll just say this. There's no reason to reveal who it is because Louisiana is a legit football team coming into Austin for the season opener.
I don't think that's the reason that he's not revealing it. I think if he reveals that it's Hudson Card, and Casey Thompson is going to jump in the portal, right? Because he sat back, he waited his turn. He didn't transfer when Cameron Rising transferred. He sat behind Sam. He came in, had a good game. A lot of people are like, maybe that was lightning in a bottle. He was a 4-star quarterback coming out of Oklahoma and a legacy at Oklahoma, and decided to come to Texas. So I think that, one, it draws out more media attention towards Texas. Sark knows what he's doing, man. He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback guru. So, the inside word is that, and this is also knowledge, but that Card is quick. Card has speed. Card has the quick release, the cannon. But if you're playing in the Red River rivalry and it's 3rd and 8 and you're on the 40 and there's 48 seconds left and you're trying to score a touchdown because you're down by 4, who do you want in there? Do you want a leader that Casey Thompson is, or do you want a guy that has his head down? I think what's going to happen, I think Card eventually wins out. In all honesty, I think it's going to be Card. I think Casey Thompson starts. I think Card's going to get a couple series as well against Louisiana. And then they're going to play it out. And then I think if they don't name it by then, they're going to split time against Rice, and then the rest of the year we'll know who it is.
I think that's very fair. And I was actually part of the press conference yesterday when the questions were being asked about that exact thing. And the thing that I had the hard time with was honestly the 50-50. I've played the quarterback position for pretty much all my life up until my senior year and didn't play in college. But during that time, the most important thing was me being the one in the huddle, being the leader, being the one stepping up. And I'm not taking anything away from what he's doing. Mike, you hit on it. It's been well known that he knows what he's doing with the quarterback position because his track record speaks for itself. But with that being said, my biggest question mark will be locker room reaction. Who's where with who? Now, Now, with that, with all that, I also look at it as these players want to win. These players want to be put in a position to win. This coaching staff is a brand new staff, but they come with skins on the wall. They are going to be able to have this team prepared. They are getting ready to do mock football games this weekend. I call it the dress rehearsal. They're going to go through everything, and I'm excited for these guys. But the biggest thing for me, regardless of who's named quarterback, is unification of the fans, unification in that locker room, and being able to support each other moving forward. We've had so much turmoil at the University of Texas that it's like it's time for everyone to have each other's back. I don't care about the standing or sitting for the national anthem, Eyes of Texas. I don't care about none of that. Win the damn football games.
That's
and
it.
Everything else will take care of itself.
Man.
Now he summed it up, put a bow on it. The most important parts, that locker room's number one, though. You don't want a fractured locker room to start the season, especially with a quarterback. You have quarterbacks who have not started, and that's a big deal. Big Mike, I know that you being a dad, that your time is limited. No, I know hard. You're stretched thin too, but with the newborn, I know you guys saw this, and I wanted to get Big Mike's take because we don't promote Last Stand hats just because he's our guy and we're proud of him. But this one, there's so many deals out there. In particular, a former Longhorn guy that was heavily recruited going to Ohio State, forgetting his senior year, leaving. Here we go. Here we go. And if a computer would cooperate with me, here we go.
What's up, guys? I'm excited to sign with Holy Beverages and Hope Squad.
Big Mike, your thoughts? I mean, you're not out to criticize or bash another guy's NIL deal, but
no, man. Well, here. First of all, like, listen, it's a new thing, right? Sorry, I'm shook right now. Cristiano Ronaldo is going back to Manchester United. It was just announced they're going to get Cristiano Ronaldo, and I grew up a Man U fan. I was going to go to PSG, but now I'm back home with Man U. But yeah, back to what we're talking about, the whole NIL stuff. It's a slippery slope for real because, you know, I was having this conversation last night with someone, and they were like, well, he graduated early. He's going to ride the bench. I'm like, he's going to leave so he could go play. He's going to redshirt. He did that so he could get, signed NIL and all this. So, and then, so yeah, it's a slippery slope. But the other thing too is like, how much is he signing? The other question about this, and we got into this about, the quarterback out of Alabama, who apparently has had 7 figures, hasn't even played before. Do you think
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young? Yeah, you're right. My thought was, as being a part of this, kind of watching some of these big money donors, like we're helping kids build brands and all this stuff, right? We're trying to like set them up for the future. We don't have billions of dollars in our bank account. Some do, and some of them are going to be like, here's X amount of dollars. Come show up to 1 event or 2 events, and we'll call it a day. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to really broadcast us. We don't really care. We just want to help you and make sure you're taken care of because you came to us, right? Versus the argument was, well, no, they would want to do that. They would want the advertisement because why else would you spend that much money? And then on the other side, you have Ohio State getting five dudes who just got brand new cars. What does that package look like?
Dealerships, baby. Dealerships. That's what I was wondering was going to happen You know, you go back and you look at the death penalty that SMU got, and there was Bankston Motors and all the things that were going on with them. Now, does the death penalty get removed from their you know,
their
background or their Wikipedia page? I mean, the whole thing about it is now we're in that day in that life to where the gold cars and foreign chains are not even matters anymore. It's like, what are you gonna get? What are you gonna get from me? And just like what Mike was saying, when you look at it, you're like, okay, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Because if you're a billionaire, like Red McCombs, let's use Red McCombs for example, because how are not all these players at the University of Texas in a brand new car? I mean, it's ridiculous. And then you look at anybody else around town that we know that has a big thriving business. How are they not able to do those certain things?
Correct.
So it'll be really interesting. And now, as if I'm being recruited, or my son who is 12, he will be in that frame. I don't know how high or how low he'll be recruited. I'm not going to put that out there, but does he start negotiating for cars? Does he start negotiating for 401k? Like what is he negotiating now?
There's an extreme amount of benefits that can be negotiated because these kids are being recruited, especially in college basketball at a much younger age. I mean, it's unreal.
And now do more college kids come? Can they make more money in college playing basketball than going to the G League for a year, right? And then the NBA? Like, well, some of them kids are gonna be able to make millions of dollars while they play basketball, right? The other side of that too is like, first of all, Tennessee was ahead of the game. You guys just jumped the gun too quick. You guys would have waited to hand the McDonald's bag. You'd have been fine. You could have literally done that. You could have literally handled it in McDonald's bags.
They are sponsored by McDonald's.
Instead, you just had to jump the gun.
Right.
The other thing too is this whole brand R thing that UT just signed with about this groups that they can, players are going to be able to group and get in these groups, and if there's enough players, you can work with so and so. That's going to be really good for a lot of businesses because now you don't have to sign athletes to NILs. It's you're partnering, and as long as you're a company that's licensed by said university of whatever, you have access to it. So it's also going to open up the door to other licenses, I think, too. If you're like, hey, we're licensed. Ohio State, Last 10 House would be like the licensed by Ohio State because, we have Texas, and this is what we're doing here. We would like to do the same thing there for your plays. So positives, I mean, I do think Texas was behind the 8 ball a little bit, but that's also Texas legislature that kind of set them back. Right. I do commend Chris Delgante, Drew Martin, Craig Wistemeyer, that whole team for getting that done. So the opportunities at Texas didn't fall too far behind. Right.
Right.
So.
Well, that somewhere in America, maybe in Texas, Rhett Bomar is wondering and hoping that he would have had that deal with Big Red Motorsports there in Moore, Oklahoma, after losing that eligibility transfer into Sam Houston. There's so many cases, guys. You brought up SMU. They had those NIL deals before it was NIL 30 years, 40 years early. But how about some let's end this thing on a positive note.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Harge, you're not teary-eyed today, and I'm Uh-oh.
So I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, Big Mike, I know you've got baby duty coming up quickly. Just tell us something good, bro.
Yeah. Let's see. Tailgate's coming. That's good. You can find us over at, I think we've partnered with old Miss Fancy Boots and got a big tailgate over there. So we'll be set up. Also have a fun little new project. Check us out on Horn Sports coming out pretty soon. Haven't launched anything yet, but it'll be fun. And yeah, just excited for football season. Gonna mosey on over to the UT game, tailgate. Then we're going to go watch the game. And I think we're gonna mosey on down to San Marcos and watch the game, and maybe sit next to Mr. Hodge up there in the sweet life, and maybe he can get me on the field during a game. Hot damn, dude, we're playing cards now, baby boy. Pull that card. Nah,
pressure,
play that
pressure,
card.
pressure.
Play that card. It's all right, man. I'll just jump on your back and be like, carry me. Carry me.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's pretty exciting right now.
Yeah, it is. My Tell Me Something Good is going to be about, obviously Last Stand is continuing to flourish. They're doing so much good work in the community.
Tell them about the new hats we're getting, Mike. Tell the people about the new hats.
Are you talking about my Agent Zero hat that I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
Agent Zero hats. Or Mike's being humble. We'll drop it here and we'll see it. We'll see who really pays attention to this podcast for our UT people. We've ordered all burnt orange with white rope and white with burnt orange rope hats that will be Last Stand hats. Since no hats are available, and we'll have those out hopefully by the Rice game. So check us out. Make sure you find us if you want to. We'll probably do a special release and pre-sale, but definitely reach out to us if you want to reserve one before. Mike's humble though. Mike didn't want to mention that part. He wanted them all to himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was all for you, dog. That's all for you, dog. But I do want to say, this past week, my son started playing tackle football. It's the first time ever, and I was a little nervous, a dad, because that's my baby boy. And they start their first scrimmage on Monday. And I'm a little nervous as a pop, but you heard his voice. He wanted me to tell you something good, and that is it. I'm telling you something good. My son is playing tackle football. Y'all pray for him and pray for me because I'm going to be nervous for my dog.
Go hard, but be safe, be healthy. We'll go 100%.
And I want to transition to you, Sean. I want to say last night you did your first football game for the season for McCallum, the Taco Shack Bowl. The Taco Shack Bowl. McCallum won, so I know you're a little sad as a Anderson Trojan, but you have to be non-biased in the booth. So good job last night, my friend.
Hey, brother, I appreciate it. That's funny because they told us, hey, the team that's paying for us, y'all be biased. I was like, all right, that's kind of weird, but I'll do it. But yeah, that's a good segue, brother. I'll tell you what was good about that, because 1 year ago, the Taco Shack Bowl is usually full. House Park's full stadium, good environment. And last year, you could hear a pin drop, crickets chirping. But I'll tell you what was great about that last night. Full, spirited, pretty good high school football game, and it was just good to see everybody out there and everybody excited about all of that again, and we're back. So I'm right there with Big Mike on that. Great, man. We're a week out from all of it starting, and this is good. We're going to be talking football for a long time until January, and that is what is good about all this. So for the soon-to-be, sometime in our life, the legendary Haleigh Blocker, the director of football operations at Texas State University, we appreciate you and much love. We're very proud of you. And for Big Mike and Coach Mo and Hardball Harge, we out.
See ya.
Get your ass to sleep.
That's awesome.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.